just a little wet behind the ears. Something's going to happen there. I just don't think
all
Seattle's
the trappings of Tony
team
Romo needing to make an appearance. It really does. As much as I like Dak Prescott, I really, really like the kid. Just don't think he's ready.
Yeah, I mean, if it's not the Cowboys, then who is the question in the NFC?
Well, I think Atlanta could beat them in a shootout. I think Atlanta runs the ball exceptionally well. Atlanta has the best wide receiver in the game.
Well, that's for damn sure. Julio Jones is like a video game cheat code.
I was talking
it's literally unfair.
We all have our own opinions.
Hey, here's where Pepper Jack's at with the pick. I have no faith in Seattle flying across country. In fact, this is going to be my 5-star pick of the week because when you got Tom Brady behind center in a game, televised, national television, I don't think he's ever failed. He shines in the spotlight. I see New England running Seattle right out of whatever, Gillette Stadium, is it still called?
Yeah, they're in Foxborough.
33-16, New England over Seattle. No running in Seattle, and you're going to see a little bit of LeGarrette Blount. You're going to see a whole lot of Tom Brady. You're going to see a whole lot of Mr. Gronkowski.
Does Julian Edelman get loose at all? Should I cut him? I'm not the only fantasy player out there who's asked that question this year. We've had a couple recently. I don't know what to do with Julian. I mean, he's hanging on my roster like my right hand in a golf swing. I
just don't know. The problem with Julian Edelman is the fact that there's way too many weapons in New England.
Yeah.
If you think about it, I think James White's had a great season so far. Yeah. Deion Lewis
is coming back
this week, I believe.
Sure is.
That takes a little bit of that play away from Julian Edelman. Wide receivers, though, in New England, it's just as good as they are, they don't have a premier number one.
No, they don't seem to, and they don't seem to need one either. No. Although their number one is Gronk.
Yeah. Tommy, their number one is Gronk. Did you just compute that all by yourself?
No, it took me a little bit.
I mean,
something up. I Googled it.
Yeah, I mean, wow. I mean, you must have been the fucking valedictorian of Countryside High School.
I was not. I was not. I actually, you know what I was, though, Joe? You didn't know this, but my academic graduation standing was the Magnum.
The Magnum.
Yeah, I was 357th.
Yeah, I hear you, buddy.
Which isn't bad out of 398 in my graduating class.
You know, hey, dude, all I always said was, hey, I finished the race. What more do you want? It doesn't matter what place you came in. I finished the race.
I just want to shout out to Dottie Weaver, wherever you may be, Dottie. Dottie used to take care of me in my English class. She used to be the student assistant.
Hand jobs?
Well, not so much that, just a lot of fudging the numbers for the pepper.
So hand jobs.
I have to give a shout out to my ex-principal, Miss Lori Langenfeld, who actually allowed me to walk because I was able to convince her. Listen, do you really want to deal with me another year? And she just looked and it went all against her better judgment, but she said, go sit in the ADA room and shut your mouth and don't bother anybody.
Well, you wouldn't have shown up for 4 years.
Yeah,
we got one game left here, boys.
Let's hit it.
Walk down memory lane. Let's talk about the Cincinnati Bengals heading to the Meadowlands to take on the New York Giants. The Giants are getting a point at home, so therefore Cincinnati is a 1-point favorite. The over-under at 47. Pepper Jack, get us started.
Whew. Here's two teams that confuse the hell out of me.
Yeah.
You know?
Well, one's orange and one's blue.
Yeah, thanks. That helps.
No, neither one of them are very good.
The visiting team is 0-7 straight up in its last 7 games in this matchup.
Wow.
That's interesting. Also, the fact that Andy Dalton does not seem to shine on national TV, especially in road games.
No, and that
could be wrong, but I'm pretty certain I'm right on that one.
No, he gets some stage fright.
Yeah, Eli Manning, on the other hand, he does very well in front of the all the cameras. He's averaging 333 passing yards in home games in 4 of the last 5 home games he's played. So he does well at home. Cincinnati is a Jekyll Hyde football team. I I just don't have any faith in them going to New York on a Monday night and winning. And how are they a 1-point favorite? I don't know. What are they, 4-4 maybe on the year?
The Cincinnati Bengals, I will tell you momentarily, but I think you are correct. They are 3-4-1.
Yeah, 3-4-1, and they're going into the Meadowlands and playing a 5-3 New York Giants football team, and they're favored by 1. I just don't buy it. 56% of America doesn't buy it. I'm going New York Giants. I'm thinking Eli Manning outduels Andy Dalton, especially at night. 28-23.
28-23 New York Football Giants.
G-Man.
What you got there, Joey Peeps?
I'm going to go with Pepper Jack. I like the Giants as well. I don't really get that number either. Could it be telling you something? Possibly, because the bet would be the bet would play here is the Giants. I don't see how it's not. Cincinnati just hasn't looked the defense especially. I know they've played better as of lately, but their defense especially has been troubling to me. This was the defense I used to think was really good, and it just hasn't been so much the case. I mean, we all know it's going to be a good matchup. I can't wait. I actually can't wait to watch this matchup of two of the best receivers in the NFL, A.J. Green and the blonde mop himself, ODB, but duke it out. It should be a pretty good game. It's actually it's an interesting Monday night game, but I got to go with Pepper Jack, the cheese, and I'm going to go with the New York Giants to win this 24-17.
Yeah, I'm not too far off on it. I think that when we're trying to do this, the key to picking these kind of games is you have to select the team that scores the most points. That's consistently the avenue to success. And in order to do that, you have to pick the better of the two teams. And I'm going to pick the better of the two teams here, and I'm going to take the Indianapolis Colts.
I don't think Indianapolis is going to lose this week.
No, I think you're onto something there. I really do. The smart money is on the Colts walking out of here without an L this week. Yeah. If you can find any place, any house, any big house in Vegas on the Strip who's taking Indianapolis to not lose this week, that's my lead pipe lock.
Yeah, watch your lead pipe lock turn into Roger Goodell. Just because Roger Goodell is going out there going just because I can. I don't like Jim Irsay. Colts get an extra loss this week.
Yeah, the dictator himself. Little known fact actually, Roger Goodell and Adolf Hitler both drink water. Try comparing those two things. I'm taking the New York Giants. The Giants should win this game, but I don't know if this is that bad of a game. The Giants have trouble running the ball. Rashad Jennings is definitely helpful when he's back. It seems like Giovanni Bernard is starting to make his presence known out of Cincinnati's backfield, but the Giants win this one 23-21.
Fair enough.
There you have it, folks.
Here's a little side note though for this, and it means absolutely nothing because that total is at 47. That is the highest consensus. 76% of America believes, the betting Americans believe that game is going over the total of 47, and I think that maybe I was the only one of the three of us that picked the game going over. So.
Yeah, I don't see the points here, but I guess that there is that potential for ODB to have another 3-touchdown week. I will say this from a lot of the information I have, 48 points is higher than 47.
Did you pick 48 points in this game?
No, I did not. I had it at a 44-point total at 23-21.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've been locked in the house for a whole week.
Okay. Well, let me ask you this. Based on the facts that what we know, do you play I am in a dilemma.
Okay.
I've been in a dilemma now for quite a while, but I do have Eli Manning and I do have Andy Dalton, two of my quarterbacks. Now, originally I figured, well, according to CBS, they're predicting that Andy Dalton has the better fantasy performance, but after reading these trends where Eli plays so very well at home, I'm leaning towards Eli maybe.
I would start the left-hander.
Boomer.
Yeah, I don't know. I think you kind of have to start Eli, don't you? Just because of the home team factor, Dalton on prime time. Did Cincinnati have a bye last week?
Well, yeah, I think that Cincy the week prior in London.
They tied Washington.
Yeah, so they had the bye last week. I don't know if the Giants are coming off a bye last week or not.
Do you have any other options?
I do. I have Blake Bortles, and
never mind.
Kind of. I think Blake Bortles was my early draft pick, like in the 5th or 6th round, because I thought at the time, oh my God, I'm going to steal Blake Bortles here in the 6th round. He's going to be the next,
Did you see where they were actually? Gus Bradley had said this week that they were considering moving him to safety.
Well, let's just say, in all my years, Pepper Jack.
I don't know. He's a little beefy. He could probably play linebacker.
Really made a mistake with Blake Bortles, because after watching him last year, and I know he got a lot of his points in garbage time last year.
He did.
And he's getting a lot of points in garbage time this year, but I really truthfully believed that Jacksonville Jaguar team was an up-and-comer this year, and I was wrong.
Yeah, I mean, that's really disappointing, actually. I didn't think they were going to be that good, but I did think that Blake Bortles would probably have another 300-plus. He had strings last year where he threw for, 330-plus yards for how many weeks, a bunch of touchdowns. A lot of it was garbage time, but, yeah, it's just not good. Allen Robinson seems like he is having some mental issues.
Yeah, he can't catch.
Can't catch the ball, and that's sad because he's got all the athletic ability in the world. He was a nice steal. I have him in 2 leagues, and he chaps my ass on a weekly basis to where you got to consider not playing him. This week I'm considering not starting him tomorrow.
Yeah, wide receiver who can't catch the ball is just kind of like a right fielder who can't catch a fly ball.
Yeah, I think one of the reasons why I was in love with Blake Bortles this year was because I picked him up last year, probably around week 7, week 8, and my team went from 4-4 to 9-4 in fantasy football, and eventually won the championship because of Blake Bortles.
Yeah, no, he had a great second half of the season last year. He really came on as a special player. But have you seen he can't even throw the ball.
Yeah.
He has issues with his release. He has issues even putting some spin on it. He made a couple throws, was it the other night, in that abysmal I don't even know
Tennessee game.
Yeah, they quit on that Thursday night. That was horse shit. He looked like he couldn't even get the spin on the ball. There's all kinds of mental things going on in Jacksonville.
Does Gus Bradley make it to next year?
No.
No, and no is the right answer. No, he doesn't. I mean, he's lucky. He's lucky to finish the year.
No, on that note, fellas, let's talk about the hot seat. We got 3 minutes left here, and there's got to be a few coaches that really can't see themselves getting out of this season. Who are they?
Well,
that's all the time we have for today.
had to cut it out. Something to ponder about for the next week. But I agree. Gus Bradley is somebody to keep an eye on.
Yeah, I think Bradley's in trouble.
Well, I know you said Chip Kelly's in big trouble.
Chip Kelly, yeah. I mean that is the worst.
That's Kelly.
Poorest run organization.
Well, I think that with Hugh Jackson being 0-10, I think he's still safe.
I think he is.
That's because I think when these two guys jumped into that general manager's position in Cleveland, they realized that other teams gave their head coaches a good 3 years, 3 to 5 years, and I think Reggie McKenzie in Oakland as the general manager was out the door, and he talked Mark Davis into giving him another year because his plan was working, and we see what happened with the Raiders.
And if you remember with the Raiders, they started 0-9 or 0-10. They got their first win that year against Kansas City on a Thursday night, but that was with Dennis Allen. Or I'm sorry, I take that back. Dennis Allen was gone. That was with Tony Sperano as the interim.
Ugh.
If you recall, and I think that was a part of the reason why Reggie McKenzie was able to leave. I think Hugh Jackson's very safe. If he goes 0-10, if he's 0-10 at this time next year, then there's no longer safety.
I have a lot of faith in the Browns GM. They're going to be hitting a lot of home runs here in the future. That's my prediction.
Well, they definitely have the draft picks coming up, so
yeah,
they better make the right.
If nobody caught that joke, Paul Hugh Podesta was taken from Major League Baseball. Just saying.
Yeah, I got it. It was he's a sabermetrics baseball guy.